Hi, this is Pete Williams for Unico. We're going to talk now about the changes that we've made with our EC motor. We have here on the left the original EC motor control board. We call this the Smart board. And on the right, we have the unit that is manufactured after January 1st of 2015. There are changes made with the hardware and with the software. We're going to first take a look at the changes with the hardware. The older board here was different because it had, and it was very critical that we set this switch here to indicate what model system we have. If you notice, we set this to the left, it says 1218. We set it to the right, it's 2430. So this allowed us to have all four of the air handlers that we made in 2010 controlled by this one switch. Now, by the way, it was very important that you set this to the proper setting. If you had a 2430 module and it was hooked up to 1218, in other words, this switch was over here, it would think it was a 1218 motor, and the motor would actually run backwards. So we came up, between this time and now, we came up with the 3036. That gave us 5 air handlers. So we actually had to have 2 different boards. Now we have one board for all 5 models. And we made some changes with the board itself. The first thing that you can see right here is you have a series of model. You have 2 settings you have to make it the proper model. You have one setting which says model, which is right here. It says model 1 or 0. It's either a 1 or a 0. And the other one is auxiliary. It used to be the item that we would have to turn on to get the PCB light to flash to indicate CFM. Well, today what we do now, we can control all 5 boards, all 5 air handlers with one board. If we have a 2430, we set the model right here to 0. We set the auxiliary switch to 1. So that gives us 5 configurations. Now, another thing that changed, it still says aux on here. On the older boards we had 2 settings. We had aux and off. Now, what we did is we always put this to the left to say aux, and then our PCB light, which was a final LED light in our display, would flash. And you would get a long flash for 100 CFM, a short flash at the end meant 50 CFM. Well, now we don't have to turn the aux switch on. With this system, the PCB lights will always flash. And again, it's the same way. We have it marked on here. You have 100 CFM for every long flash. A 50 CFM flash at the end would mean you have 50 CFM. So if you had 4 long and 1 short, that's 450 CFM. So those are the changes that we made to the hardware. It's a new overlay. In fact, the new overlays are white, not blue. This is one of the prototypes that we had right here. So some subtle changes with this. We also did change the name of this switch here that was labeled Winter. It was originally called Winter. Now it says Air Cycle. And the Air Cycle has also been changed with the software. The Air Cycle's purpose is to prevent moisture from building up and causing condensation during the winter months. So we're going to talk about that when we talk about the software. Am I supposed to say something at the end?
Yeah, sign off. Say.
This is Pete Williams for Unico. Join me for another exciting adventure.
All right, whatever.
I'm supposed to sign off.
We'll just stop abruptly.